April the 22nd, violets and their colours. Colour is a tempting, but by no means the best way to identify violets. As in March, the main violets to be found this month are the hairy violet, Viola hirta, the common dog violet, Viola riviana, the pale wood violet, Viola reichenbachiana, and the sweet violet, Viola odorata. In early April, violets are often at their most prolific, as a short walk along the North Downs from Guildford towards Box Hill will testify. Sweet violets can be violet or white, but if white, have a violet or pale violet spur. Those sweet violets that flowered in February will now be going over. Hairy violets are violet with a dark spur, and rarely white. This compares with the common dog violet, which is usually a pale bluish violet, but has a pale spur. It can also be white. Once again, early dog violets are violet, but in this case often have darker centres with noticeable veining. As if this wasn't troublesome enough, the common dog and pale wood violet sometimes hybridize. That is, Viola riviana times Viola reichenbachiana. This hybrid often persists when other violets have gone, allowing yet another tentative means of identification. Two new violets to add to the list this month are the marsh violet and the heath violet, Viola palustris and Viola canina. The marsh violet is a pale violet with darker veins on its petals, although again sometimes white. It is usually identified by its habitat, as it nearly always grows in marshes. This newcomer is rare to London, although it has been recorded from the wetter areas of Black Park and Richmond Park. The heath violet is also uncommon, but can be found without too much difficulty on Headley and Dartford heaths. Wind anemones, Anemone nemorosa, are now a common sight on the woodland floor along the North Downs, all the flower heads nodding together if caught in a breeze. In Greek mythology, they were believed to have appeared where Venus's tears fell as she wept for Adonis. The Egyptians associated the plant with illness, the Chinese with death, but the Romans preferred to use the flowers as a charm to ward off fevers. The plant is in actual fact poisonous, causing excessive salivation and burning in the mouth. Even bruising the leaves can cause blisters on the hands, possibly accounting for why it is so common. Although quite a spectacle this month, these anemones will disappear underground by the summer, leaving no trace of their presence. Although the flowers have no nectary, they are visited by insects, perhaps drawn by their foxy scent. They rarely set seed, and patches increase slowly, expanding as little as 1 to 2 meters in a century. This explains why half a wood can be full of their flowers without a trace of one in the other half. William Robinson, the famous Irish Victorian gardener who championed the use of wildflowers in gardens, recorded a pale blue form, Anemone nemorosa, variety robinsoniana, which now seems to be lost in the wild. However, there is a range of closely related garden anemones, for example, Anemone blanda, the Balkan anemone, and Anemone apennina, the blue anemone. With some interbreeding with larger garden forms, it is now possible to find lavender, white, blue, and violet flowers. Good populations of white anemones can be seen in Morden Park and the wood beside Effingham Junction Station. A selection of different coloured garden forms can be seen at Worley Place, where both Anemone blanda and Anemone apennina are reported naturalised. Purple anemones can be found in Wellwood.